format is going to be that I'll just ask individual questions, and I want to ask everybody the same question, but I want you to, at the very end, to really ask yourself whether or not you are living in your sweet spot. And of course, if there's something that you can do about that, what kind of action step you can take to actually move towards that. So Ed Miller, what do you really think living in your sweet spot means?
I live it daily. Last night, I went to the driving range, and when you said sweet spot, what hit my mind was that sweet spot on the driver, and I'm still looking for it.
So if you're living it and you're looking for it, does that jive?
Do we ever attain perfection?
Okay. So could it have something to do with perfection for you?
Yes.
Living in your sweet spot. Right on. Excellent. Robbie, what do you think living in your sweet spot is?
Well, my ideal would be finding living every moment as my sweet spot. Because I love being important. I love the things I'm doing at my part time. I love being with my wife. I love waking up in the morning. So I guess my ideal sweet spot would be living in the exact moment that I'm living in.
Fair enough. Excellent. Patrick, what do you think living in your sweet spot means?
Yeah, I think my sweet spot, similar to Robbie's, I like being busy. It's not so much on vacations, but it's more about being busy and getting things done. And I think I'm living in that right now.
Right on. Excellent. So what are some examples of just different individuals? They could be heroes to you. My definition of a hero doesn't have to be a superhero. It could be your mom, or it could be somebody that really just has inspired you or lifted you up, or potentially somebody that you aspire to be like. So what are some examples of some heroes in your life that you really admire, and what qualities do they have? And I'll let any of you answer that one as something comes up to you.
Well, I said I'm taking Taekwondo right now, and my sensei is one of my heroes. I went with my white belt to my yellow belt last week, and I was alone in the dojo with him and his 14-year-old daughter and 3 5-year-olds. Right? His 5-year-old was up with his white belt and says, "You have your white belt, and you're so big, right?" Yeah. I just say, oh, well, so he's one of my heroes. He's created this atmosphere for little children right up to adults to really get themselves into that focus of being a Taekwondo expert.
Patrick, what about you? The heroes in your life? What kind of qualities do they
For
have?
me, it would be one of my uncles who's a business owner, and he owns a car dealership. And so just to watch him in his everyday, how he deals with problems and that type of thing is one of my heroes for sure.
Excellent.
When I think of heroes, I gravitate to both my parents and my in-laws. And both came from hard-working farm families. And they had to work hard just to make ends meet. And to me, that's the everyday hero.
Right on. Very cool. So, in what ways do you feel that you want to contribute more to the world? In what ways do you feel that you want to be of service and give back to the world?
I think for me, if you join any organization, it's not what it can do for you, it's what you can do for it. And so whenever you happen to belong to an organization, you should be contributing. So we see that in Toastmasters with Speechcraft. We see that with Toastmasters and every new member that walks into the room, hoping to get him or her to that comfort level if they want.
I see that discipline is the most important thing. To accomplish or contribute anything at it's discipline. And you have to put in the hours and months of work to get to the point you actually can finally contribute. And when you finally get to that point, you can do it as if it's with ease. So, discipline.
Discipline. Okay.
And I think for me, what I want to contribute is just being a friendly person all the time and letting other people, giving other people, making them have a good day. That's just basically all I want to contribute in the world, I guess.
Right on. So service organizations, discipline, and just putting a smile on people's lives and just making their day better.
Yeah.
Right on. So when we're talking about the sweet spot, there's types of qualities that each of us have. And I believe that each of us have been, we're all born with different gifts. And different gifts, we actually hone different talents as well. But what are your greatest gifts, and how are you using them right now?
I have to confess, I can't really say what I know my greatest gift is. So I defer to the people I associate with to tell me what I can do. Try and give a balanced approach to it.
I think my greatest gift is compassion, and compassion comes from two words, come, which means with, and passion means suffering. When you suffer with another person, that's what compassion is, and I think it's the highest ideal of a human being is having compassion. That's what I wish my greatest gift was.
Excellent. For me, I think right now my greatest gift is being able to work long hours and not tire out. So I guess energy would be mine.
Energy.
Yep.
Right on. Yeah. And Ed, I would say that one of your gifts is encouragement. I've experienced that myself firsthand. And I know that many of the people around you have experienced that, and you are operating in it whether or not you know it.
And now you're throwing it back at me.
Okay, so we've talked about motivation today. So when you're living in your sweet spot, there are things that motivate you. Would you agree? Part of it has to do with motivation. So tell me what, just not on the surface, not the the sunshine motivates me or the smell of fresh air motivates you. What down here motivates you?
In fact, we only have 7 years to live, and death is coming very fast. So. Motivates it.
So you could also say that the fear of not.
Well, fear is going as much time, not a lot.
So fear not knowing there's as much time.
I'd say for me, it's just seeing project through the end. Also, not much time, so you gotta make sure that something's done from start to finish, and that's what motivates me is getting that done.
I'm told I have trouble sitting still, so I guess what motivates me is always finding something to do. And then when I get involved, sometimes I find I get too involved.
Yes.
Being busy but not too busy, I guess.
Okay, that's a great answer. Great response. So motivations and passions I look at a little bit differently. So perhaps you do as well. When you think about passions, where is your passion? Like, what are you passionate about? What gets you like excited about life? What are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about color right now. I love colors very much. That's what I'm passionate about.
So can you expand on that a little
Well,
bit?
I'm painting a little bit right now, and just the squirting color out of a tube onto a palette is the most beautiful thing in the world.
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Passionate about. I don't know. I have to think about that one a little bit more.
You don't have to have an answer for that right now. But that's one that I'm going to leave you with to challenge you to think about it and continue to think about it. Okay?
I guess when I look back at my work career, coming from the justice, discipline, and right and wrong, and good and evil, fairness is one of the things that I'm passionate about. I like to see people be treated fairly no matter what segment they're in.
Right on. Excellent. That's perfect. So let's talk about jobs. So regardless of what job you're in right now, I'm going to give you some stats. I did a little bit of research on this. In Forbes magazine, there was a recent article that was released, and the company that did this their research was called Right Management. And in this survey, they surveyed people in jobs. 19% said that they were satisfied with their job. 16% said they were somewhat satisfied, which left over 2/3 saying that, or almost 2/3 saying that they were unsatisfied. 21% of that 2/3 was somewhat satisfied, and 44% was unsatisfied with their job. What's your reaction to stats like that?
Sometimes we work with those type of people. have no time for those kind of people. I'll encourage them best I can, but they bring me down, and I don't need that.
Truth is, people are going to be satisfied with whatever job they have. So in many ways, when you find yourself in any job, you have to find the satisfaction with it. Whether you're working as a person at McDonald's, or working as a doctor, or working as a street cleaner, there's satisfaction. And you switch to a different job, which might be a good idea if you're really dissatisfied, but you're still going to be dissatisfied. You have to find the satisfaction within whatever job you do.
I agree with both Robbie and Ed. I think satisfaction is up to you, and you have to decide what you're going to be passionate about, what you are satisfied with. So if you don't like your job, then find a new one. That's my motto, because I've had jobs I don't like in the past, and I just change careers until I find what I like to do.
Right on.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very, very cool.